All right, so should I just jump in? We ready?
Yep, take it away, Kesley.
Okay, great. Well, hello everybody. And for those of you in snowy areas, I hope you're enjoying beautiful scapes outside your windows and staying safe. Stay inside and craft. That's definitely my motto. So what we're going to do today is this is an introductory class to your Cricut, and hopefully you have had a moment to set it up, plug it in, download your design space, and just ready to dive into your first project. So what we're going to make today is the tumbler, and we're going to make the vinyl for design to put on your tumbler. And it can go on any tumbler, a glass container, anything like that. But this is a really fun project, and I'll get you started and get you comfortable with how to use Design Space. So why don't we go ahead and jump right into Design Space. I will go ahead and share my screen. Let me see. Yep, here we go. All right. So I'm going to go get us started and take us to the home page. Is that showing up properly?
We're not seeing your share screen.
You're not. Okay. Oh, because there we go. How's that?
There it is.
All right. So what you're seeing is, and I'm just trying to get it to move. Okay, not going to move it. So what you're seeing is the home page. When you open up your Cricut Design Space, your home page will pop up like this. And there's really three parts of your home page. The first part is this top header here. Excuse me, your top header here, the gray banner, and it'll say welcome with your name on it. And what this does is this is on every screen you're on. You'll always have your header. It stays there and it moves between your home and your canvas. So along the header, all the way to the left, and I'm not sure if you can see hopefully I've enlarged my mouse so everyone can follow along with my green mouse there. But these three lines up top, when you click on them, it will open up and it will take you to home, which is what we're looking at right now, to your canvas and your new machine setup. So as you're getting started, these are the three features you will use in this area. Once you're a little bit more comfortable with Design Space, you might dig into calibration and settings and linking up cartridges. But as you're getting comfortable with it, what you want to focus on, those three lines up top take you to your profile, your home page, your canvas, and your machine setup if you haven't set up your machine yet. Okay, and then also along the top, you have these three functions. You can go to projects you've created. You can go to projects that are created specific to a machine. So when you click on that, it can take you to projects that are optimized for your Cricut Joy, your Cricut Maker, and your Cricut Explore. And then you can go to new project, which takes you to a canvas, a blank canvas. You're ready to dive in. This is where you go. So you can get to the canvas from two places. On the header, you can go to the new projects, or you can go all the way back over here to the left, your three lines, and select canvas here. So that's your header, and that will stay on every page you go to into Design Space. And then you have the next on your home page, the next bar down, this is called the banner. And this will change and rotate to different images and different projects or promotions that are going on. So you can work on things and ideas that go with the Cricut Joy, the Cricut Express Mini, or there's a promotional here that you can go learn more about the promotion. So this banner, these boxes here, these will change periodically depending on what Cricut has new or what's seasonally appropriate. So those will change. The next section down here is My Projects. Now this will be unique to each person. And any project you've been working on will show up under My Projects. Down from there, you have the Cricut Access projects and community projects and the Be My Valentine projects. These are all ready-made projects. They're ready to go. When you select one that you want to make, so let's just look at one. How about we look at a birthday cake topper? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was a birthday cake topper. Let's look at this glitter heart blanket right here. So it will tell you is a project sheet. So if you want to click on one of these and make this exact thing, it gives you a description of what you're making, what the finished size is, the materials you need, everything else you'll need. So it'll tell you what you have to make it and all the other extra products you need to make it, how you're going to prep it, how you're going to cut it, assemble it. So it gives you a step-by-step direction of how to make that project. And it gives you the file that is needed to make that project. So you can just click on that image and it will take you right to the project. If you scroll back up, right up here at the top, it has a print function. So if you want to print the instructions or the materials you need, a little shopping list, you just print that. And then when you're ready to make it, if the image works just for you exactly as they have it, you would click this green button that says make it, or maybe you want to customize it, change it up a little bit. You can customize it and change it. So this is the home page. Welcome to Design Space homepage. As I said, over on the left side, these three lines, this is where I start. So when I click on here, I either want to come home to the home page, get my juices going, my creative juices going, and find out what's happening. And I'll click on that. Or if I'm ready to jump into a project, I click Canvas. So if you've got Design Space open and you're working with us, go ahead and click Canvas. And if not, if you're just watching along, just follow along, take notes. What we're doing here in the Canvas is that this is where you're going to create your project. So again, you have three parts of this. You have the header, which is the same header that we showed on Design Space on the home page. You have your design panel here on the left side, and then you have your canvas space and the zoom feature. So down here on the left side is a zoom feature. And what the zoom does is it expands your grid or makes it smaller. So this adjusts your canvas size. If you keep it at 100%, that's like a good happy spot to start. But if you're really working on a detailed project and you want to zoom in bigger without enlarging the project, you use the zoom function down here. Over on the left side is the design panel. And this is really where you do a lot of your work starts here. You have the new, which is a new canvas. So we're on a new canvas. The templates will give you templates for your projects that you're making. So it gives you a blank template of, say, a t-shirt or a sweatshirt or a hoodie if you want to see how a design is going to fit onto a project. The projects, that will take you to all the ready-made projects ideas that were presented on the home page, and you can do searches on the projects for what project you want to find. Images, this icon will take you to the image library, which blows my mind how many images are in there. Text icon, if you want to add text to a project, you would click the text icon. Shapes, if you want to add shapes to your project, you click the shapes icon. Or if you want to add your own images, you would use the upload button. So as you're getting started and as you're working on Design Space, getting comfortable with it, this is your canvas. You have the header, design panel, and zoom. So what we're going to do, let's start off by looking at the image library. And so to get there, you just click on the images icon. And this pulls up the library of images that you have to work with. So just take a minute and soak it all in, all those great icons and images, and be inspired. Today, I know we're going to be looking for the love you icon, but since it was snowing, I wanted to show everybody these igloo images. So we're going to start here. So what I did, let me back up for 1 second. So I want to make sure I have everybody with me. If you click on all images, this window shows up here, which is a great landing point because it tells you you have highlighted categories over here, the featured images, what's been recently added, what's free this week, and image sets. And then as you go to your right, you have more ways to dial things down. If you're looking for something project-wise for a party or an event, or if you're looking something for your home or school, you can break down into themes and occasions and help you narrow down what you're looking for. Or if you're like, you know what, I just want to give it a shot and I'm going to take whatever comes up, and you can type what image you're looking for in the browse all images icon. And my computer, it's slow on my end. Sorry, guys. Let me go back. I'm going to try this again. We'll try, oh, there we go. Okay, so I'm back at the images. I think that's a glitch on my end. I apologize for that. And let's see if I can pull it up. Here we go. Okay, so here are some igloos. And you might notice that you have an igloo. This one right here shows up in a few different variations of the same igloo. So we have this igloo and its neighbor igloo looks very similar. And then if you go all the way to the right, and I don't know if they show up the same on everybody's computer, but on my screen, if I go to the right on this line, I have another igloo that looks very similar. And over here, I have another igloo that looks very similar. So how do you know which igloo you should choose for the project that you're working on? If you hover over the igloo, there we go. Sorry, let's go, yeah. On when I was doing this earlier, I was practicing this earlier, when I was hovering over it, it would allow me, and maybe my thing is too big, it would show me what type of image this was. So for example, this first one might have been the print and cut. So it would print the igloo and then cut it out. This one here would cut the inside of the igloo. The second one here would cut the inside of the igloo. This one here on the next row down would cut the outline of the igloo. And this one here would cut just the igloo outline. Now you can see it. Can you guys see that where it says igloo outline right next to my cursor? And then maybe I just wasn't patient enough. That's the igloo. That says igloo. This is the igloo draw. So this one over here on the right side where my icon is, it says igloo, comma, draw. That means if you're using that image, it will draw the image that you want. If you want to have this image, it will give you all the pieces to cut and make a blue igloo. And this one down here will do the outline of the igloo. So I know that seems really confusing. It's a lot of igloos to deal with. The best thing is, as you're looking for projects and as you're wondering which one to do, you can just grab all 4 igloos and bring them onto your canvas and remove which ones you don't want. So if you want to do an outline of an igloo, then this would be the one that you would want to end up using. Okay? So we're going to go, I'm going to do another search because I'm doing a love you heart. So I know I want to do something that has love you in it. So I'm going to do a search for love you. And all these fun love you ideas pop up for me. And maybe there's one I really like, but I'm not quite sure it's exactly the perfect one, but kind of has the feel that I want. So I would love to show you guys how to find more images that match that image design. When you click on an image, you get a green box around the image, and that lets you know you've selected that image. The A up here, that little flag on mine, tells me that that image is part of the Cricut Access, and I have access to use that image. And then if I need more information on that image, I can click on it with with the information icon there, and it will tell me the name of the image number, and this view image sets will let me see what other images match that image, that one in particular. So as you can see, a lot of different images pop up that coordinate with the love you. So maybe I wanted to do the Be Mine or Happy Love Day, you and me. You can be inspired and select whichever one you want to do, whichever image you want to use. And so when I think of sets, I think of them as like things that match with each other that would go in a file cabinet together. So they may not always be the same design or even the same holiday. You may pop up something that says love you and get a lot of wedding images, or you may pick up love you and get a lot of, Valentine's Day images. But this image set all has this theme of our love is magic. So it doesn't always it doesn't always make sense to you, maybe what is together in a set. But if you look up at the name of the set, you can see how those images go together. Okay, we're going to go back to the image because there's not one in this group that I want to use. And let's see, I'm still not sure which one I want to use, but I know that I'm going to be making a project out of vinyl. So on the left side of your all images, you can select what type of material you'll be using. So will you be using a vinyl, a cardstock, an iron-on, infusible ink, chipboard? You have all different types of material to select. So we're going to select vinyl to help narrow it down a little bit. And we're going to select how many layers of vinyl we want to work with. For today's project, we only want to work with one layer of vinyl. So I'm going to select a single layer of vinyl. And now my choices went from 950 choices to 501 choices. So as you narrow down your choices, it makes it a little bit easier to find exactly the right image that you want. So today we're going to do this love you image, and this will be a free image for everybody. When you go into your all images free this week, you'll see this image popped up. Or if you want to write down the image number, it's love you heart M9BB751. And that will be free for you until February 22nd. So if you're not ready to make your project today, you can definitely have access to that for a couple days and make your project. Okay. So we have this image and it's been highlighted with green. So I know that that's the image I've chosen. And I'm not quite sure. Maybe I want to do this one. Maybe you select a few images that you want to try. When you look down on the right side of your screen, you will see circles. You'll see circles with images inside the circles. So I can see the love with the paw print, the red letter love, and the yellow heart with the love you in it. And that's really the one I want to work with today. I know these are not going to be for me. So I just click on that red X and that removes them and they're never brought over to my canvas. You can definitely bring over more than one image to your canvas though, and you can even work with the images without having Cricut access until you're ready to cut the images. Then you could upgrade to Cricut access or just purchase that one image. So my two images showed up on top of each other. Now I'm back to my canvas and I have two images there. So you can just click on one image and set it aside, and click on this image and set it aside. So now what might have appeared to you is, oh my goodness, I've got two images, they've merged it together. Nope, they just come in and stack them right on top of each other. It's like a grocery bag. So I know I don't want to use this image, but if you want to save it for later, on the right side of your screen in your layers panel is an eyeball. If you don't want to see that image, you can just hit the eyeball and now you cannot see the image anymore. Or if you know for sure you don't want to use the image at all, you just click the X and the image goes away. So now that we have the image we want to use on our canvas, we're going to go up here below our header where our edit tools are. This is where you'll find most of your edit tools to work with your image. So let's just walk through those quickly or slowly. I don't want to speed anybody up. Right here, these two icons, the arrows, forward and backwards. So if you did something, you're like, oops, I didn't mean to do that. You just click on that arrow, and it fixes your mistake. So I had deleted the love. I said, oops, I didn't want to delete the love. I clicked on my left arrow and it brought it back, but I really don't want it. So there he goes again. I click on my right arrow and it jumps me up a couple steps. Now you'll notice that some of these icons, your edit icons, are not highlighted, so you can't access them. And that is because your shape isn't selected. So when you select your shape, your edit features become accessible. So the line type, if you want to change your fill color, you certainly can change your fill color to match your vinyl. You do not have to, but some people like to have their vinyl match what they're going to be doing. It tells you my lines are going to be cut here. And it would, if it were to be like if I wanted to draw it, score, or foil it, you would select those different edit features, line types there. Okay, and then it does not have a fill. This image does not have a fill. A fill is something you use when you're doing a print and cut. So if you wanted to fill this heart with a pattern and print it out and then cut it, you could do that. Or if you wanted to just print it out in a solid color, you could print it out in a solid color like that. Okay, so that's your line types, your fills. We're going to turn it back to no fill. I'm going to turn my color to red just to make it easier for us. Okay. And your deselect or select, if you had two images there, you could select both images all at once. If your edit button here, if you wanted to cut, copy, or paste your image, you could do that. So if we want to copy this heart and then we want to paste the heart, we could do that. And you could get multiple hearts on there. And if you wanted to select them both, you could either do select all and it selects everything, or you can draw your arrow and select both at the same time. So we're going to get rid of that guy with the X. I'm going to focus on this one.
This is Joy. Can I interrupt you real quick?
Yeah.
When you're selecting both, you just have to click on your mouse and then drag it to collect both.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes. So yes, I'm sorry. You need to hold down your left mouse button and drag your box around both images to select them. Yep. And now that I have them both selected, we can use this other edit tool called Align. This one, think of this like taking a stack of papers and stacking them up, and you want everything to align with your stack of papers. So if you take a stack of papers and you want the top to be smooth or the bottom to be smooth or everything to line up to the right or the left, you would use these edit features right here. So if we want everything, if we want to bring both images to the top, we use align top. If you want to align it to the bottom, again, we highlight both pieces, left mouse or the select all. And if you want to align to the bottom, you can do it that way. If you know the space you're working with is 7.657 inches and you're not sure if you've got this spaced equally in the distance, usually let me add one more. So I can right click on it, cut, copy or paste here, or I can go to the edit feature here where I can copy and paste. So now I have these 3 hearts on my screen and I'm going to put them as a wrap on my vinyl mug, let's say on my tumbler, but I want them all to align to the top. I'm sorry if this is going quickly. Ask questions. And this part is a really great feature to understand. So I have these 3 hearts I want to put on something and I want them all to be spaced the same amount, the same distance between the different items. So instead of trying to nudge and move one in the middle and get it exactly right and count the squares, I just would say distribute vertically. Oops, sorry, not vertically, distribute horizontally. And there, it bumps that one. So now I have even spacing on all 3 hearts I was working with. Okay, so that's a really good edit tool to play with. That's something, and you can't make a mistake, so if you mess up with your image, just back yourself out, go back to home, grab the image again and come back to a fresh new canvas. Don't be afraid to play with it. You cannot break it. Okay, so now let's get on to fixing this so that it's the right size of our, so it'll fit on the mug. Our mug, and I'm going to show you when we go to the overhead, you'll see, I'll show you how I measured my tumbler. I want the width of my heart to be 3¼ inches. So to do that, again, I go up to my edit feature here, and I'm just going to change that width number to 3.25. And it's automatically going to change the height because the image is locked. So what that means is it changes it proportionately with the width and the height. With it locked, I can't skew my heart, make it wide or taller than the original icon. So that locked icon between your width and your height tells you it's going to change the size proportionately. And what I mean is if you unlock it, so you can unlock it here between the width and the height, or you can actually unlock it on the image. And you just click the unlock button there, and it will allow me to move my heart in different directions in different ways and resize it however I want it to be. And I want to keep it that one size, so I'm going to go back up to my edit and click the back button once and click the back button twice. So now I have my heart back at 3.25 inches. Okay, so I've got my heart the right size. I am now ready to cut. Before I move on, Joy, is there anything at this point that you want me to go over again?
I think we're good. I think everybody's moving along with you. I would recommend for anybody who's following along, if you got lost or confused or anything, this class is recorded and you can go back to where you signed up for your class, and that you'll be able to find the class there, and you can go in and watch it again and hit pause and play and go along with it, because Nancy's giving you a ton of good advice.
All right, great. So let's move on to the actual making of the project. At this point, you're going to go back up to your header. And you know what, before I do that, I'm just going to back up one more second. There is a lot more that you can do in Design Space. You can, there's tons of different features that I'm not touching on in this class. We do have a 201 class that I want to encourage everybody, if once you get your feet wet with this one, jump in with us on that one, because we'll be going deeper into how to use Design Space to make your own designs, how to use it with multiple designs, merging them together. So that's a much deeper dive. This right now, what we're doing today is scratching the surface of what you can do in Design Space just to get you started and confident with these steps so you're ready to move on to the next steps. So Design Space doesn't end with what we're doing today. There's so much more. Okay, so we're going to go over to our layers panel here. You can see our layers are here. If we had multiple layers, they would show up here. And above this is our header that stays on any page you're on. And we are ready to make this. So you click the big green Make It button, and that will take you over to your preview of what you're going to cut. And again, there's a lot more features in this particular area, but just to get your first cut done, this is a good starting point. So what you're going to see here is this mimics your cutting mat for your for what you're going to put in your machine. So it automatically will place your image on the upper left corner of your mat. So you know that that's where it's going to cut, and it lines it up with that one by one. You cannot nudge that image and get it really close to the edge, because you need to have space for the rollers to work and for the knife to mark up on the mat, match up on the mat. Okay. But you can move it over here if you have a piece of vinyl with, do you want to position it over on this side of your mat? By all means, you can move it around in that sense as well. Okay. You have these icons here, which will let you move the object if you were working on multiple mats and multiple layers, or you could flip the object over here. If you wanted to, let's say you wanted to go crooked with it, you can change it crooked. Okay. I don't know if that's going to work for me. There we go. All right. And I'm just going to get that back. You know what? Let me just back out, because I'm not sure I want that crooked like that. I want it to be real easy for me. I want it to be straight. So I'm not ready to cut this. I'm going to come down here to the corner and say cancel. I'm going to go back to my heart. It's matched up. It's lining up perfectly like a little soldier there for me. And it's ready to go. Comes back. So you cannot mess it up. Don't be afraid. All right. So then we're going to go to the continue button, which this now will take me to my machine, and it'll tell me, okay, we're getting ready to go. We're firing up. This space here is the space that communicates between Design Space and your machine. So we're going to select which machine you're using, and I'm going to use my Air 2. So I select the Air 2, and then it tells you to set base materials. Now, if you're using a Cricut Maker, you have to tell it what material you're using in this area right here for the base material. If you're using an Explore Air, you can use the dial to tell it what material you're using. For some reason, I like to keep my machine on custom and then change it to the different type of vinyl I'm using. So instead of just, basic vinyl, I might be using glossy vinyl or chalkboard vinyl. So I like to be able to specify which type of material I'm using. I do have my favorites right now. Premium vinyl. I'm doing a lot with premium vinyl, and other people, you click on the other popular materials, you see other materials that are popular right now. But let's say you didn't see what you were cutting on and you needed to find your material. You would click on the Browse All Materials, and they would all show up here, and you could search for the materials. So I'm using vinyl, and you just do the search for the vinyl, and all your different types of vinyl show up. So it's not, just one vinyl. You have frosted glitter, frosted gray, frosted opaque, all different types of vinyl that you can use. For my project today, I'm using premium vinyl, and I've even marked the little yellow star that tells me this is one I use a lot. So it's going to show up in my favorites. Okay, so this is a really, if you're wondering, what can my machine cut? What can I do with this machine? Go to the materials and start browsing through, and you'll see a plethora of materials that you can use and cut on. So today we're doing the premium vinyl. I'm going to use the default pressure for the machine. I've cut with it. It works fine for me. So I'm using the default. If for any reason you needed to feel like, oh, it's cutting too much, you can adjust your pressure for a little bit more or a little bit less right here. But I find the default works just fine for me. So I'm going to keep it there. Okay, then we are ready to go over to the overhead camera and show it there. Should I stop sharing my screen here?
Yeah, go ahead and stop sharing your screen there.
All right, great. So we're now at our machine here. Now the machine is ready to go. I've got, it's got the light on. The machine is ready to go, but I'm not quite ready to go yet. I'm using my premium vinyl on my machine, and there's all different types of vinyl. Just to give you a little walkthrough on the packaging, it'll tell you what type of vinyl you're using. So this says premium vinyl. It's a permanent glossy. So you have permanent vinyl, and you have removable vinyl. So since my project today is a tumbler, I want to be able to put it in the, I want to be able to wash it, put it in the dishwasher. I definitely want to use a permanent glossy vinyl. If I were making a sign for somebody in my family, I might just use a removable vinyl that I could, peel it off later down the line if I wanted to. It would take a little bit of effort to take that off. Okay, so I've got my premium glossy vinyl, and I need to trim it to, my heart is 4 inches. So I need to trim it to 4 inches. On the back of your materials, you have grids, and each of the grids is 1/2 inch. So you could, if you didn't have a paper trimmer, you could definitely take your scissors and cut a smooth line to give yourself a 4-inch piece. I like to cut my vinyl to the size of my project because it makes it a little bit easier to weed later on. It makes it easier to manage on the mat. I don't have a whole bunch of vinyl stuck down to the mat that I'm not using. So I've measured this out to the 4-inch mark. I put my arm down and I'm just going to trim it like that. And now I can set my vinyl aside. I'm done with that. And I'm going to make a 4x4 square, and we'll just trim it here. Again, if you don't have a trimmer, you can just use your scissors and count over, but that makes it super duper easy to have that. Well, now here comes another question on Cricut. Which mat do you use? This is my cheat sheet. And if you want to take a screenshot, feel free. But I have a cheat sheet that tells me which mat does what. There's 4 different colors of mats. There's a green mat. Yep.
Can you lift up your cheat sheet closer so everybody can see it?
Is that better?
A little bit closer. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, so feel free to take a screenshot of that. Sorry, it's crooked. There we go. Okay. All right. So that's my cheat sheet. The 4 different mats, there's the green mat, and that's the standard mat. That's a great go-to mat for cardstock, for paper, for vinyl, for iron-on. The blue mat is the light grip mat, and this is great for thinner materials. So if you're doing like a vellum paper or something that's a lighter cardstock that might tear if it's held down too tight, this is your go-to mat. But it's also great for your vinyls and stuff like that. Those lighter things needing a lighter grip. The purple mat is the strong grip, and that's for thicker cardstock, glitter, magnet, chipboard, poster, and leather. And then the pink is the fabric grip. And I always think of the fabric grip mat to use when I'm using my rotary blade in my maker. So those are your 4 different mats. I use my light grip mostly, I'd say. So they come with this little protective sheet on it. And some people will label their protective sleeve on the outside with like their initials or something so that they always get it put back the right way. I'm not that particular about it. So I've got my light grip mat here and my vinyl trimmed out. So I'm going to place that right here in the 4x4, 4 inches by 4 inches. I know that's going to cut for me and I'm going to be good to go. Okay, so my Cricut Maker is ready for me. My light is blinking to tell me to load my mat. So I'm going to go ahead and load my mat. And just to give everybody a quick walkthrough, if maybe you picked up a Joy and you don't have a Cricut Air, this may not look familiar to you. This is your cutting blade, and this is your pen case. This is the dial, and there's an on and off button right here. And you have your caddy to hold all your tools, and your cartridge slot. So that's just a walk around the machine. When this light's blinking, it's telling me it's ready to cut. So I just go ahead and push that. My Cricut will start doing its job. And you don't need to hold it. I'm just holding it because I'm here waiting, but you don't need to hold it by any means. I just like to watch it work. So amazing. Okay, so once it's done cutting, it'll center itself back again and your light will flash. And that's when we're going to go ahead and pop it out and it's ready to start working on.
Hey, Kesley.
Yeah.
While you're there, would you show the cheat sheet one more time?
Of course, absolutely.
All right, and bring it, there you go. There you go. So you can see Kesley's written out the green, the blue, the purple colors of mats, then the type of mat it is, and then what type of material she can use on it. So if you guys take a screenshot from here, you can keep that. Thank you, Kes.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, now on to removing our vinyl from our mat. This is a little trick you may not be familiar with, or you may not even be comfortable doing, because you're like, I'm going to break my mat. These mats are so durable. You pop this off like this, and you peel the mat, you curl the mat, not your vinyl, not your paper, just the mat peels off like this. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. And now we're ready to peel. We're ready to weed. And what weeding is taking the vinyl, taking what you don't want, just think of it like a garden. We're taking what we don't want and we are going to get rid of it and keep the parts that we do want. So you just need to get your little fingernail under there. I sometimes, I'll be honest with you guys, I sometimes cheat. This is my little, my cheater. I will notch a little part of the vinyl out of the backing so that it's easier to start my weeding. So I don't have to dig at it with my fingernail when it's cut out. So I'm just going to start with this one. And we just remove this like this. Like so, and it comes right off. And I have my lint roller here because I can just stick that right on there. My weeding part just sticks right onto there and I can get rid of that as I'm going, as I'm weeding out my things. So it's a little hard to see sometimes where your cuts are. I will put my vinyl cutout up against a window or on a light box to help a little bit if I need to. But you can also just kind of feel over it with your finger and get yourself started that way. So I can just pop that off like that. Real easy. You can roll it and bend it. Don't feel like you're gonna, it's not paper, so it is pliable. Let's see if we can get just a little piece of that O to come up. There we go. So I got the O started, and I go in and hold down the center piece as I go. I'm going to go to the V. And as I'm weeding, Joy, are there any questions?
Let me see. We have somebody asked, they were a little bit behind, and they asked what size to cut the vinyl.
Oh, 4 inches by 4 inches. So
And go ahead.
Yeah, I do give myself a little bit of grace when I cut out my vinyl, because my measurements don't always, I'm not always perfect with that. So I will cut my vinyl a little bit bigger than I need to.
Okay. And then somebody asked about the round button above the other 3 on the top of the Air 2. Yep.
Yeah, the dial.
The dial.
Yes.
So they wanted to know a little bit about the dial.
Okay, so the dial helps you set your material, what material you're cutting with. So it's really simple. You can just rotate it around if you're cutting with paper or with vinyl, with iron-on. You can just turn the knob and it will select that for you. So in the design space, when you're sending your design over, you don't have to select your material. This does it. Your dial does it. When you have it set on custom setting, that material feature will pop up and say, hey, I need to know what you're cutting it on. And that's how it does that.
Right. And I like to leave it set on custom. That way I'm always reminded to set the right material setting.
Me too. I'm the same way. All right. So we've got our Love You cut out. We've weeded it. Some people are really good and they will save those letters on another, like on a former piece of vinyl backing, and they will reuse that on something else. So you can, definitely be frugal with that. You can use your space on your vinyl and cut out other hearts if you want, or you could have cut it and saved that little piece if you need that in the future. But we are ready to move on to the transfer tape stage. And what the transfer tape does is it basically, the concept is the transfer tape will take this off of your vinyl backing so that you can then put it onto the object you want to put it on. You could, a shape simple like this, you could probably peel it up and place it and be fine with it. I like to keep my letters together, so I will be using transfer tape on this. And there's 2 different types of transfer tape. There is a strong grip transfer tape. And just like your strong grip mat is used for thicker cardstock, for thicker items, like if you have glitter vinyl, you want to use the strong grip transfer tape. For regular vinyl, we're just going to use regular transfer tape. And I almost forgot. This is such a cool feature. Cricut thinks of everything. If you take it out of your packaging, you're like, how do I know which one is which? Well, they are labeled. So your strong grip transfer tape says strong grip on it. It's also purple. And your regular transfer tape is gray. So strong is purple, regular is gray. I love that. That's like one of my favorite things. And again, you can just take your paper trimmer and cut your transfer tape to the same size as you cut your vinyl. So I cut my vinyl in a 4x4. So I'm just going to cut my transfer tape in a 4x4. And if you don't have the paper trimmer, don't worry. Your lines are still there and you can just use your scissors and cut right along with it. Okay, and you're ready to go. So with my transfer tape, I like to keep it as easy as possible. I'm all about easy. So I use this gridded mat when I craft. It keeps my desk clean, but I also love having the grids down there. So what I'm going to move this for a minute. Hopefully you guys can see this. I'm lining up a line of my transfer tape on the line of my grid mat. And then I'm just going to peel back to that line. So it's right there. This is the sticky side. I'll take my image and kiss it right up to the edge there. And then pull my transfer tape over like that. And what that does, it does a couple of things. One is it keeps my grid here nice and aligned with the shape. It also helps me lay my transfer tape smooth because I'm not working with four corners of it. I just have one corner I'm working with. And then I use my wedge here and we smooth it all down and get everything nice and smooth on your transfer tape. This helps reduce bubbles when you go to transfer it onto your item. Okay, so I have cut my image out, I have it on my transfer tape, and I am ready to apply it to my mug, my tumbler. Now, one thing you can do is use your lint roller to hold your tumbler in place or your object in place. I use just face cloth that are rolled up, and I keep these in my craft area so that I can just put my tumbler there and it's not going to roll around on me when I'm using it. Okay, so we are going to take our vinyl backing off of our transfer, and that's going to be right there. And then we are going to, now I'll tell you a couple things you can do. One is that you have a line here. So if you wanted to, you can use your ruler and line it up and measure it. You can also use a soft ruler, a measuring tape, and line up where you want it to go. So if you want it to be 3 inches up, you can just hold that there, any ruler, and go right there. And that will get it 3 inches up. I feel a little bit, okay. It's hard not being right on top of it to make sure it's lined up. But there you go. And then I smooth it down. I start in the middle of the image and work my way out to the side so that if there are any air bubbles, they come out on the sides. Okay. And you can even take your face cloth, rub it a little, burnish it with your face cloth. You can use this and burnish it with your wedge like this. And then we just pop off our transfer tape. And you can save your transfer tape to use again if you'd like. You can just pop it back on there. I don't know what I did with my teeth. But there we go. There is our cup, our mug.
Kensley, did you need to do anything pre-wash your mug before you applied the vinyl?
I am so glad you asked that. I actually have my my cleaning spray right here. I use this. It works great, especially on like a silver tumbler to keep fingerprints off. And I did spritz mine beforehand. I also, like if I'm doing a t-shirt, like a heat transfer vinyl, I use the lint brush to get any lint off. But yeah, you do want to clean your surface so that you have a clean surface to start with.
Thank you, Kaz.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right.
All right, I'm just looking to see if we have any major questions that we did not answer. I think there were a lot of questions about your 201 class, and I put a link up, so you should be able to get to that. That class is February 8th, if I'm correct, next week.
Yes, next Monday.
Same place. Let me see if they're in.
Oh,
Emmy, do you notice any that I'm not seeing?
Somebody did ask if it can go in the dishwasher. I'll be honest with you, I'm horrible about this kind of stuff. The only ones I don't throw in the dishwasher are my Yetis. Those I hand wash, but all my other tumblers I do throw in the dishwasher. It doesn't say, this is from Michael's, the Artminds. It doesn't say that it's hand wash. Oh, wait, there's a little, hold on. There's
The
more
vinyl-
information.
Vinyl itself that Kesley used was the permanent vinyl, and that can go through the dishwasher. But you do want to check your substrate to make sure that can go through the dishwasher too.
True, because this says hand wash only.
There
When
you
you
go.
open it up, it does say hand wash only. It might go in the dishwasher at my house. Hopefully not, but you never know what these hooligans around here.
And there's a question on the paper trimmer. The paper trimmer Kesley is using is 12 inches long. So it will fit anything that's 12 inches and is kind of as long as you want. It will fit.
It's 12 inches and it has the arm that folds out. So you can measure even longer pieces than that. And then this is 12 inches long here. And the blade is replaceable. There's a little piece on here that is replaceable if your blade gets dull. So you can pull that out.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Somebody asked a really good question. Do you need to curve the print if you have a longer print? And I think they're asking that because the tumbler itself has a little curve in it. And yes, you would want a
Right. So if you're using like a wider cup, like this cup is great because it's more cylindrical. But if you were using a wider cup, you may want to curve it for that. And then you would, I would use a template, one of the templates that's in the design space to test it out on.
So another big question that was popping up quite a bit during class was the difference between design space in the desktop and design space on an iPad. And there are differences. All of the same features exist between the two. Just on the iPad, instead of your tools being on the left side of design space, they go across the bottom on design space. So it's a little bit different how you look for them. And some of the features are nested within other features. So if you're working on a design space on your iPad, look across the bottom of your iPad and you'll be able to see the features down there. Okay, let's see. Some folks are having trouble finding the class on the 8th, so I'll go back and ask Michael's about that one. They are finding the one on the 22nd, so just make sure to come back and see if we made any errors in that.
If I see one question about having a hard time weeding. If you've cut something and it's not weeding easily, like you can see how easily those letters pulled up. So if you're cutting something that is not weeding as easily, number one, check and make sure you have the right material selected. And number two, check that you could do a little bit more pressure on your settings and see if that would work. And then the other thing, even before you do that, I would check that you don't have anything in your machine, like in your blade. Just give it a little blowout and make sure you don't have a little scrap that got stuck in there somehow. It could even just be like a little piece of styrofoam. It could be a hair. It's not that sensitive usually, but you could have something tiny in the wrong place that just, maybe it got caught up in there. So I would check that. If it's a brand new blade, those things should troubleshoot it for you.
Yeah. And then the other question.
And then you can also go online and for.
Oh, sorry. We must have.
No, go ahead. That was it.
Somebody had asked about the differences between attach and weld and flatten. And these are all techniques that would be in that 201 class, a little bit more advanced. So even though this class went fast for some of our beginners, there are so many more things that you can learn in using design space. So definitely keep signing up for classes because we will always be teaching more and more and more.
And Karen has a question about how to select material on a Cricut Maker. The Cricut Maker doesn't have the dial, so you do all your material selection in Design Space. So once you've started your project, you said which machine you're using, it'll give you that prompt to select your materials, and that's where you select your materials.
Yeah, and somebody also wanted to point out that the image sets are like having the old cartridges. If you're an old Cricut user, you would understand that difference. Somebody really wants to know when they can use the pen. Keslie, can you bring your Cricut back over real quick?
Sure.
And show where the pen, and Lindsay, if you, yes, thank you.
Lindsay.
This way, people can understand the two spots.
Sure, let me grab my, let me grab some pens and I can show you.
And while you're doing that, Kez, I can answer another question. Somebody asked why the cartridge slot is on the Air 2 when the fonts are in Design Space. And it's just a carryover from the original engineering. So, so consider that like a little love from Cricut.
So this is your pen, the Cricut pens, and the Cricut machine, the Explore Air and the Maker use the same pen, but the Cricut Joy uses a different pen. What do you call it? Like a pen cartridge. So all you have to do is open up your pen, and I save my top on there, otherwise I'd lose it. You just open up your A slot here, you pop that open, and you put your pen in with the arrow facing you, and you push it down until it clicks. You probably can't hear that. It'll click in there, and you might feel like, oh, I just pushed it, I broke it. You didn't. You just need to push it in until it clicks, and then you close that up like that. And it'll send, do you want me to do it?
I don't know that we have enough time.
Okay.
But yeah, you would just pick a line type. Oh, people are saying yes.
Oh,
Lindsay,
okay.
Lindsay, can you tell us if we have enough time to show one more feature?
We are a little bit over, but that is okay. So if it's a few minutes, I think that'll be fine.
Okay, Kez will scramble for a moment and show you how to use the pen.
Yeah, I got it. All right, so I can tell you what. Let's go back, because that's what this beginner class is all about, right? Giving everybody a shot. I'm going to share my screen again, if that's okay, Lindsay.
You have lots of cheering for this, Keslie.
Oh, good. Okay, so let's go back to images, and let me find that little igloo. Here we go. And oh, see, I have my material still selected to vinyl and my layers to single. I'm going to go to my operation type, and I'm going to say, I just want to find one I can draw. And here it goes here. There's the draw. But you know what? That's a little bit too complicated for what I think we need to do. So let's see if we can find something. One of these. Here we go. Let's just do this one. Okay. So I selected the love. It's a draw because I said I wanted to do a draw, and it's going to come over here. I'm going to get rid of that guy. That's going to go right there. Okay. So I've selected. So I'm going through this quickly, and then we're going to do make it. And it comes over to my canvas, and I'm going to say continue. Let's select my device. I'm doing it on the Air. And I will be using, I guess, you know what? I'm going to use my dial on this one, and we'll just put it on paper. Okay. Now, if we go back to the overhead view, you'll see that my Cricut light is flashing.
Okay, if you could stop sharing your screen so
Yeah.
the light will show.
Okay, great. Okay, So my Cricut light is flashing here. And you just go ahead and pop it in. And it's my Cricut is saying I'm ready to go. Oh, I don't think my pen is down all the way.
Just do it a second time.
Yep. I didn't.
You heard the, yeah.
Yeah. Not funny. You really do have to pop it in there.
And the good news is you can just, oh, you didn't even have to go back to Design Space. You could have just clicked your arrow again.
You're right. You're right. Oh, I could, oh, can I? Oh, nope. I already did that.
Well, while you get it all set up to go again, there was another question that I thought was such a good question. Somebody asked if you could use the pen on vinyl. You just need to check, like I would check the pen on a scrap piece of vinyl first. It definitely won't do well if it's a gel pen. So it depends what type of pen you're using.
Okay, so there we go.
Do you guys see that? How amazing is that?
Isn't that great? And if I wanted to, you can just take your, one thing about these mats too, is you can just take your mat and turn it around and reload it. It doesn't have to go in one way or the other. And like Joy was saying, I can press the arrow and I can do it again. There we go.
Nice, Kesley. You
Yeah.
did such a great class today. Everybody is so thankful.
Oh, good.
And I think people learned a ton. Remember, the class is recorded. You can go back to michaels.com, give them a day or so. You've got to like switch all the files and upload and everything. And rewatch, because in the beginning, the first time you're watching Design Space, you may feel like, oh my gosh, I totally don't understand. But as you go along with Kesley and as you go through the steps, you'll start to learn more and more and more. And the one-on-one classes are offered every other week. So you're welcome to join back in anytime and watch again and just follow along with us. Kesley, you are getting tons of thank yous. We thank you very much. From Cricut and from Michaels. And I hope everybody has an amazing day and stays safe in the snow.
Yes, yes, enjoy it. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you.
Bye-bye.